It looks like there might be a little lag, so let me know if it's a little laggy. But it is check-in time. I want to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. And I want you guys to let me know how you're doing. Say hello. All that good stuff. It's another live from the inbox. That means I have some videos that I want us to review. Because you know I see everything on the net. So we're going to look at a couple things. We're going to talk about a couple things. Then we're going to get out of here. So let me make sure everything is good. And as you come in, like I said, say what's up. Let me know how you doing, how you feeling. All that good stuff. Because I need to figure out why this thing look like I'm lagging. But I'm going to keep it going. We're going to talk about all this stuff. I got about 3 videos that I want to talk about today. So come in, say what's up. And I'm going to get to it in a couple seconds here. So a couple things to note. Good afternoon, Dawn. Yeah, we got to talk. We got to talk. We got to talk. We going to talk soon. So things to note. Tonight at 7 p.m., the group coaching in the app, the monthly service, it's going down again. We're going to be talking about the importance of being friends first and why I always peel back the layers. So we're going to talk about why it's important. Because I didn't really learn the importance of it until later on in life about what it really means. So we're going to have a group discussion about that. And as always, we have an open forum of Q&A where we talk about any topic that you want to talk about. It doesn't even have to be about the topic that I'm coaching on. So if you haven't joined the group coaching, you can go into relationshipgumbo.info and there should be a link for you to join that monthly service. And it's right now. It's budget friendly. It's always going to be budget friendly, but it's super budget friendly right now. So I need for y'all to get in there and get it because that price ain't going to stay the same. Maybe somewhere around March, it's going to start looking a little different. So that's the first note. Second note is, and I hope they're not listening to me, but Facebook and these algorithms and my live videos, they messing with me, y'all. So I'm going to try to ain't nobody going to be doing all this many times and working this hard and half the people ain't seen it no more. That ain't cool. So I'm going to start making a transition over the next few weeks to try to push you guys over to YouTube. So you're going to start seeing marketing and my language is going to start looking different because this is a big part of my brain, connecting with you guys like this. And what's the point of doing it like this on this platform if most of y'all can't see it? So be on the lookout. If you want to join my YouTube now, go to relationshipgumbo.info and there's a section where I talk about the live and the audio video, and just click on YouTube and subscribe so you can get the notifications and click that little bell. Because we about to start getting it popping. Things are gonna go in a different direction, but a better direction in 2021. I got some goodies. I got some new things that I'm doing for the one-on-one coaching to where I'm automating a lot of stuff. It's going to be amazing. So if you need one-on-one coaching, now's the time for you to get that in. Just hit me up. Go to relationshipgumbo.info. There's a section there where you can click on the link to get a free 15-minute consultation so I can see if we're a good match. And yeah. We're going to get it in. So, to the part that you all came for, let's look at a few videos and let's have a little chit chat. So, first video, let me go over to my video screen here because you know your boy got toys. Hold on one second. So, just listen to this and then we're going to talk about it. This is only the first one.
Before my husband and I got married, we didn't keep our hands off of one another. After we got married, it was a bit different. I didn't really think that he wanted me as much anymore. I used to cry to him. I used to cry by myself. I didn't understand his love language. Mine was more physical touch and his was service. He packaged my orders and he handles my books. It's the service that I was overlooking. So I encourage you to not see your loved ones as you see yourself, but see them for who they are, because that's where true love lives. Before my husband and I got married, we didn't keep our hands off of one another. After we got married, it was a bit different. I didn't really think that he wanted me as much anymore. I used to cry to him. I used to cry by myself. I didn't understand his love language. Mine was more physical touch and his was service. He packaged my orders and he handles my books. It's the service that I was overlooking. So I encourage you to not see your loved ones as you see yourself, but see them for who they are, because that's where true love lives.
So let me flip back. So there was a lot there's some things to unpack from that, right? And effective marketing and networking says yes to that. She says, I know her name, she is me. And so let's talk about this for a few minutes, right? Because this is a big deal for a lot of people, right? We always, these days now where we haven't been aware of love languages before, we have access to information now. So love languages take on a couple forms, right? Because we're taught, when you take the love language test, when you read the book about the 5 love languages and all of that, right? It's about how you like to receive love. So if I like to be touched, then physical touch is the way I like to receive love. Yeah, I like to receive it, right? In this particular scenario, this is how your partner chooses to show you that they love you. And sometimes there's a disconnect there, right? And sometimes it may be because it hasn't been communicated effectively. And sometimes people just want to show you in their own way, right? And if you don't understand what their way is, you may take it personally because you want it done a certain way and you assume they should just catch it, right? So in this example, she wants to be touched. That's her love language. The way that he shows love, because a lot of us just aren't affectionate people. So it wasn't probably his knee-jerk reaction to shower her with affection and touches. His way was to be a service to her, doing her books, helping her with her business, doing whatever he had to do to show her that he was there for her. And that was his way of showing love. Well, if you need affection, and maybe it's not communicated effectively, because you're not going to change someone, but they can meet you in the middle, right? So there's compromise. If you're not speaking that to them in that way, they're going to keep doing the service. You're feeling like you're not getting the physical touch, and now you pissed off because they're not doing it the way you want it. You expect for them to be you. I just had a show that touched on this topic yesterday, so if you haven't checked that out, y'all are late. Check it out. Last night's podcast. Check it out. So, gotta think about this. Sometimes we want people to show love the same way we do. And sometimes people, because of their circumstances and their experiences, have grown up a certain way where they have their own way of showing you that they got your back, right? So sometimes you may want somebody to cuddle with, but they may not necessarily cuddle, but they'll clean your house and mow the lawn and change the brakes on your car, open your doors and all that. And all you wanted was somebody to cuddle and spend time with you. But you never say it because you want them to catch the hint, right? The whole time you thinking they don't love you. Catch this. You feel like they don't love you because you're not getting it the way that you want, but you ignore all of the acts of service that they're doing to show you that they love you. So when you have the argument and you say, I don't think you love me, they're going to look at you like a deer in the headlights. Like, what the heck? Like, didn't you see all the stuff I did? Like that? That don't count? I know you guys know what I'm saying is true. And if it's not true, I know you know somebody who, because a lot of times, especially like when women talk to each other about their relationships and sometimes men, you'll have these conversations and you'll complain to your friends that he or she isn't doing these things that you want. And then sometimes the friends be like, girl, didn't he just do your books for your business and made sure your taxes was good and he took care of the kids and made sure they got to school while you was working and building your business, and they looking at you like, what's the problem? And you sitting there pissed off because you wanted what you needed that you didn't communicate to him. And that in itself, it sounds trivial, but this is how some relationships end up breaking up. Communication. Hold on, effective marketing going in. Hold on. So here's the thing. If I say I want to be loved this way, why can't you make adjustments? I mentioned that. There should be compromise, right? I'm talking about people who don't communicate any of it and they expect the person to catch the hint. Now, if you give him the information and he ignores it, then that in itself is a totally different conversation you want to have, right? So, hold on, let me look in. Do I have to sacrifice and compromise because he can't read? You know what? Once again, that's a different conversation to have about how you listen to each other and communicate. And that overall conversation could be about how you communicate in general. Then once you get that handled, then you could talk about the love languages. Get it? They're not going to be receptive to what you talk about here if you haven't even discussed how you communicate in general. And is that effective? Are you really listening to me? I told you something, but you really didn't get it about the kitchen or about the kids. If they're already that person, it's not going to change over here. It's all about the umbrella of how you communicate and how you respect each other. When you do that, then the love language conversation becomes easier. Erica says, so should we adjust the way they give love or should they just adjust the way we receive love? Here's the thing. When you identify what your love language is, how you receive, and this is a conversation that you can have this is a conversation most of us don't have, right? We got to figure it out trial by fire over time. Like, oh, we've been in a relationship for 3 years and now we finally figuring out how we like love after we done argued about it 200 times, right? So you got to charge it to the game, unfortunately. But if you knew ahead of time, right? Here's the thing. Once you figure you two take the love language test. Oh, I like physical touch and this. And my partner likes this and this. Okay, now I kind of get you. Now you got to think about, now you know what that person needs from you. How are you going to tweak some things to make sure that they're getting what they need so that they can feel like you truly love them, right? It's a mutual respect. And so it's not about changing who you are. It's not about changing who they are. It's about respectfully understanding what you both need and you meet somewhere in the middle, because you're never going to get everything. You're never, ever, ever going to get perfection. But what you can get is some consideration in a perfect world. You know, we got some stubborn folks out here, right? We know we got some folks that's like, I mowed the lawn. You should be happy, right? We know these folks. In a better communication situation is sometimes you got to get a third party to shake that other person and be like, hold on, man, you're not listening. Look, you like the way your arguments and your relationship going? No, you this right here is the problem. It's a you problem because you're not listening. Great guy. You mow the lawn every day and you make sure all this other stuff get done. But look at your wife. Is she happy? If the answer is no, you ask the wife why she's not happy, and you got to listen to it so that you can meet somewhere in the middle if you truly love the person. But like I said, there's some stubborn folks out here and they're set in their ways. And I don't know. I don't have all the answers, guys. I know there's some people that won't compromise, and we still stay with them. And we hope that it'll get better one day, but it has to be a point where they really kind of get that you're not happy. And some people are so full of themselves that they don't really give a damn about that, but they want to be with you. Erica says most folks make the mistake of loving our partner the way we like to receive love. Yeah. And I didn't know this like most of my life, right? We assume that the other person's going to give it back the same way. It's faulty thinking. We can want all we want, but you got to watch the movements. You got to see, like, if you don't have the conversation, if somebody is not telling you they love you, they not touching you, they not doing no exercise, like they not doing none of those, they just chilling, that's a whole nother conversation you got to have. But if you say, well, he's not showering me with words of affirmation every day and saying he loved me every single day all the time, but I see that he got my back and he's putting our whole family on his back and he's doing all of this stuff in his own way. He's showing you. You got to look at that. And then you'll get pissed because he's not saying that I love you as much as you say it to him. I'm going to give you a real news flash. Here's my quotable of the day. He or she is not you. That's the answer. And like I said, is there compromise in the middle? Absolutely. But sometimes people are stuck in their ways and they just want to do. Men are like most men, they're going to give you some acts of service. Men that really love you, they're going to do for you. You may not just get the cuddly time all the time like you want it. And sometimes you got to, you're going to have to weigh what's worth more, trying to convince him to be like you or to have him bend a little bit and give you more of the cuddly time, but still do all of the stuff that he's showing you. Like and that's why people always say, you know, being in a marriage or whatever, long-term relationship, it's work, but it's only as hard as you make it. You got to have that communication. You got to be able to talk to them and let them know, hey, this don't feel good to me. And then they can come back and say, well, I'm not really the cuddly type of person, but I do love you and I love spending time with you. Look at what I did. But you know what I'm going to do from here on out? Because I know now that you like that time, I'm going to go ahead and give you some of that. I'm going to try. It's not really in me to do that, but I'm going to try because I know you like to be held. Erica says lots of women settle into the fact that they will never get love from their partner the way they want it. That's why you hear women who are being taken care of financially, but they get assigned to. I'm going to earmark that. We're going to come back to that later. But you're not wrong. And that's the thing, right? And most of the time, if two people really love each other, it's just having that hard conversation. But is it really hard if y'all, that's what my coaching session is about. Is it really hard if that's your friend? We can be friends at the beginning and then we can lose it during the way and then you find it difficult to talk to your friend. Y'all know I talk about this all the time. We got to keep that foundation strong. And that communication has to fly. But if you have accepted certain behaviors that you didn't like for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and then you come in and be like, by the way, the past 7 years, didn't really like how you've been doing things, that's going to be a hard conversation to have. Because you've accepted the contract of how they're treating you and they think it's cool. So now you're looking crazy to them because they're like, why didn't you say nothing before? Now, I know, here's the caveat. I know some of you have said it every day for the past 5 years and they still ignored you. So we gonna move on to the next video because we can talk about that all day long. I got stories for days. So hold on, let me get to the next one here. All right, here we go.
I want to be your girlfriend. Do you want to do this? The other person says, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Is the person who says I'm not sure in the wrong? Are they leading them on? And I think to some extent, yes.
Really?
I think it depends because you can have a person who knows they are getting what they want from this other person, sexually, affection-wise, having someone to spend time with, getting those things without having to make commitments about the future, maybe without stopping fucking other women. And he knows that she wants monogamy or just seriousness, commitment. He says, I'm not sure, instead of, no, I don't want that and I likely never will. Because he knows if he does, he'll lose access to her. Going, look, I'm not going to tell you the truth that this might not go anywhere because while I know I'm wasting your time and you could be spending time looking for the thing that you do want, I'm going to get what I want from you during that time. If you're doing that, that's wrong on your part.
You are absolutely right about that.
A nigga has done that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play it twice because I know
that's
it
one
might
of the
be a
secrets
little low.
about being a nigga. A lot of times we're doing that. In some ways, even me, I don't ever.
I want to be your girlfriend. Do you want to do this? The other person says, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Is the person who says I'm not sure in the wrong? Are they leading them on? And I think to some extent, yes.
Really?
I think it depends because you can have a person who knows they are getting what they want from this other person, sexually, affection-wise, having someone to spend time with, getting those things without having to make commitments about the future, maybe without stopping fucking other women. And he knows that she wants monogamy or just seriousness, commitment. He says, I'm not sure, instead of, no, I don't want that and I likely never will. Because he knows if he does, he'll lose access to her. Going, look, I'm not going to tell the truth that this might not go anywhere, because while I know I'm wasting your time and you could be spending time looking for the thing that you do want, I'm going to get what I want from you during that time. If you're doing that, that's wrong on your part.
You are absolutely right about that.
A nigga has done that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's one of the secrets about being a nigga. A lot of times we're doing that. In some ways, even me, I don't ever.
I want to be your.
All right, so this is something we hear about and talk about all the time. Yeah. So this is for I don't know whether you could hear it all or whatever, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes, right? Erica says, once he says, I don't know, I'm moving on to the next man who can give a definite answer. Exactly. And that's why I love the fact that Erica be sticking to her boundaries, man. That's so huge and so key. And this thing that this dude is talking about, it happens so much now. Like, women are like, screw the boundaries. I'm just chilling and it feels good. And at some point, you know, you build that connection and then you're like, man, like, you know, of course, the cliche thing is to say, what are we, right? And here's the thing. And I'm only going to talk about this in the situation where it's the man saying this, right? You now have became a whole girlfriend without a title, right? And we call it situationship, right? In this particular scenario, the woman says, and are we going to be girlfriend and boyfriend? And he says, I'm not sure. So here's the thing. The I'm not sure statement, some people will say, well, at least he's being honest. But here's the thing. You were getting boyfriend perks all this time. You was getting sex. We was hanging out. We was going on dates. Blah, 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 blah. And the problem with this becomes, instead of saying, I don't want a relationship, to be able to give that woman the opportunity to back out or not emotionally, he says, I don't know, we'll see. He'll say things like this, like, let's just go with the flow and see what happens, right? The reason why in this scenario someone would say that is because they get all of the perks of being in a full-blown relationship without having to be accountable. That's why relationships are scary for a lot of people, because now you're going to have to be accountable for your actions. That doesn't mean you have a warden telling you what to do. But now you got somebody that you supposedly care about and love, and they care about your well-being. And some people that scares the daylights out of them because they still want to move how they want to move. But the problem with that is, if you're going to move how you want to move, say that. Don't give a pseudo monogamous relationship feel to someone, and then when they say, hey, this feels like a relationship, what are we doing? And you say, let's just keep going and see what happens. Nah. No. Like I always been telling you guys for the past year and change, it's an exit door for later. It's a contract that you're signing on that day when they say, I don't know. And they're not going to say, I never want that, or I don't want that from you. I like the perks of you, but I don't know if I want that from you. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, let's go with the flow. And when they say that, and the next day you still continue, or the next month or years you go still continue, they always reserve the right to go back to that moment and say, remember that day? I told you. You catch them with another woman. Never said we was any titles. You accepted the deal. So how dare you question what I'm doing? And even if they weren't that nefarious of a character, it still absolves them of accountability. At any given time, they can do what the hell because this is the thing. People this thing about, and I feel kind of two ways about this. When people say you're single until you're married, right? That means if you're in a long-term committed relationship, you can still do what you want to do because you're not married. Here's my thing. There's something to be said about your word, your promise. When you say, I want to be committed, if that's your word, and they say your word is your bond, and you choose to be monogamous and committed to someone, that doesn't give you the free reign to just be out here going crazy because you're going against your word. Marriage or not, it's still a commitment that you're making to someone. Now, if you say, I don't even want to give my word and I'm just going to do what I want to do, at least give the other person the option to know what the hell that is. Because you know when somebody falls in love with you. You know when somebody's getting attached. You know when you hanging around, you done met the family and everything and y'all chilling. But I don't know what we are. 2 years later, come on, stop playing games. Stop playing games. And I'm going to tell you this, ladies, and it's going to sting some of y'all. The only reason that a man would ever feel comfortable saying that is if they felt like they could. Because they know you ain't going nowhere because you've emotionally invested yourself for a period of time and they know they can say that and it wouldn't change anything. That's the trick. Erica says, I don't know why people think because a person is being honest makes a situation excusable. If a murderer admits to his crime, we don't say, well, at least he was honest about it. Exactly. Exactly my point. She says if you're not keeping your word before marriage signing, that paperwork is not going to change anything. Boom. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And you know, I always talk about Billy, and Billy is Derek, right? Back then, this language was easy. Oh, you know, we always talk about predators, but we never look at why we're good prey, right? It was easy. When somebody would just dump their emotional self on you early, you could always tell them you gonna go with the flow and they ain't going nowhere because they didn't have enough inside of them to sustain themselves. Self-love, you were the self-love. So if you're giving me ownership of your self-love, I have free reign to do what the hell I want. People talk about self-love for a reason. And I know people go through trauma. I know we go through pain and heartache and relationship PTSD and all. We carrying all this stuff. When we decide to be in anything, a situationship or a relationship, and we give people ownership of our self-love, they didn't have the right and the privilege to destroy you if they saw it fit, and maybe they don't do it on purpose. But they're going to carry that as long as you allow it. That's why boundaries are important. You don't ever get all of my self-love. You can get my love, but you're not getting the stuff I reserve for me. No way. That's why it's hard for people to leave, because they give people all of it. And they like, you go ahead and you're responsible for my happiness. As long as you're around, I'm happy. If you leave, I'm devastated. That's how this works. So it's very important for you to understand who you are and love yourself before you even let somebody put you in a situationship. So think about that, guys. I'm not saying everybody's a nefarious character, but you can pick and choose early what you're willing to deal with and not. And if you know you one of those type of people that be like, I fall in love easy and I just need somebody to hold me, that's emotional talk. That's some stuff that if you're going to give that to somebody, why would you give it to somebody that's, I don't know what, just whatever. We just going, I don't know. We 2 years in, dude. First of all, you 2 years in to a situation where the person just really didn't give a damn about affirming the fact that y'all are kind of together. If that's what you want, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who really know that they want to be with somebody. It's a hard pill to swallow. You got to realize and think, what is it about me that makes me such an easy target that it keeps happening over and over and over again? And sometimes you cannot find the answer out on your own. You got to get like a coach or some outside party may need to weigh in and let you see like at the top and just kind of see how is it that you keep doing the same thing? Because you may not know. And if you want to be on a road to redemption for your life and happiness, you got to figure it out. Because most of us don't want to just travel the world and be around and just not be engaged with anybody. Like how these people take themselves off the market for 10 years because they healing for 10 years and they don't want no parts of seeing any type of man or woman. Know what happens on year 11 when you come out of that? You get destroyed because your dating muscles have atrophied. You can't even I'm scared to date now. It's about boundaries. Even when you're scared, if you stick to your boundaries, people can't do to you what you don't allow. So I'm going to say that, and that's the last time I'm going to say that on this episode, but it is going to come back around on another one. Dawn Green says, living this transitioning slowly. Right? Transitioning slowly is absolutely great as long as you're transitioning. That we want forward motion, Dawn. We gonna pray for your transition. Because I know it's necessary. And on the other end of it, I'm telling you, the go through, I talk about this about everything. The go through is hard as hell. But on the other side of it, that smile going to be a little different. That weight's going to be off your shoulders. So keep moving in that direction. Please. Latanya Michelle says, I prayed for God to remove me from anything that attracts imposters, frauds, and anyone meant to hurt me. Exactly. We have to be responsible for our own peace of mind. And sometimes when we give of ourselves to people that don't deserve it, it hurts when they're when they have to be removed. But I'm telling you, the other side, your mind and your heart and your soul are free. And that feeling is amazing. And once you get that high, I'm gonna tell you what happened, right? And we're gonna go, I'm gonna do one more. I have 4, but it depends on how fast it goes. But I'm gonna do one more video. But here's the thing about me, right? When I was single, right? And I was out there running them streets, I was being fulfilled in doses, but I never really was happy anywhere that I was, right? Not completely. I didn't find my lane and my happy place until I was able to sit down and detox from it, really figure out what I want. And as a man, like we don't talk about men having boundaries really, right? I had to create my own boundaries. I knew what my weaknesses were. Just knew what type of women, if I saw them, that would make me weak. I had to own that, right? Once I owned that and I knew how I wanted to move and as far as a career, as far as my life, I'm in a home and I have all these other things going. As a grown-up, I got things to lose. Like, what if you destroyed my life? Could I lose my job? Could I lose my house? I don't know. So when I would meet women, they would be cute. I would get the phone number and all of that. And you know what? A lot of times I would go home and think about it and I'd be like, why the hell did I do that? Because the energy didn't even feel like I needed it to feel. Am I doing this for sport? And then I would be like, no. And and then when I would talk to them, they would like try to aggressively push me in a direction because I'm a man and I'm supposed to just, do whatever they want. I was like, hold on, man. No, you can't come over my house on the first night. No, you can't come over my house in the first 3 weeks. You know why? Because that's where I live. And so if you come through that threshold, that means that you earned it. You don't just get to come. You don't just get to come in. And I know that's what people do now. Sorry, maybe I'm old school. You just don't get in the front door. Just like I shouldn't be allowed to come in your house on the first night. For safety reasons. Y'all need to stop letting these people, y'all got kids and all these other things. Come on, man. We don't know these people. That's why there's a vetting process and that's why you have boundaries. You're not going to totally be protected, but if you do nothing, it ends up bad sometimes. You know what's funny though? People protect their homes, but they won't protect their heart. Woo. Let's go to the next video.
You're saying because I'm a guy, I'm unable to ask for help or express my emotions because if I do, you'll call me weak. If I respect women, you'll call me a simp. And if I express sadness, you'll call me a sad boy. So what I have to do for the rest of my life is be emotionally unavailable, bottle up my emotions until I kill myself. That's pretty much it. Also, we're homophobic and we're gonna gaslight you if you get sexually abused and brainwash you into chasing money for all your life. You're saying because I'm a guy, I'm unable to ask for help or express my emotions because if I do, you'll call me weak. If I respect women, you'll call me a simp. And if I express sadness, you'll call me a sad boy. So what I have to do for the rest of my life is be emotionally unavailable, bottle up my emotions until I kill myself. That's pretty much it. Also, we're homophobic and we're gonna gaslight you if you get sexually abused and brainwash you into chasing money for all your life. You're saying because...
So, we're going to take a couple minutes to unpack what he just said, right? Because I talk about this all the time. We always talk about... Yeah, Erica said that's basically it, toxic masculinity. We're starting to hear more men talk about that we actually have emotions and we feel things. And to be in a culture, in a society that says don't do it and you got to keep it in, and society says, you know, shut up. And he talked about men being sexually abused, and when you say you're sexually abused, they automatically tell you that you're gay or, you know, something's wrong with you and all this other kind of stuff, and then you feel like you can't even share. That's a lot of weight to carry. And I know there's a lot of women out here that don't share either, but men, we're trained by our peers, our family, and also society to just shut the hell up and carry it. So I'm not gonna get too deep on that one because it's a lot. It's a lot, and I think, you know, there's some trash men and there's some trash women out here too, but there's a lot of people out here that got things that they need to get off their chest, and we don't allow them the room or the safe space to do it. And I always talk about these men that carry all this stress and they committing suicide and doing all this stuff. Like, you really got to look at that, man. Especially black men. It's so much stuff we talk about, and I hate, this is just a tangent, I hate the way we treat each other, man. It's like I always talk about the black male and black female gang wars that's going on right now. Like, we need to stop doing that. And I know that people have their gripes with the other sex and all of that kind of stuff, but it's what they call anecdotal evidence, right? It's evidence based on your personal experiences and maybe things that you've seen in your life, but you can't put that paintbrush on everybody. And the people that's willing to listen, we need to come together and make it better. Like, this sucks, man. Like, I be on these platforms and it's just a war. Oh, these men, they suck. And I'm like, you met them all? Come on, man. These women, they only want our money. You met them all? You haven't met them all. It's anecdotal evidence. It's your personal experience. It's not the experience of the world. It's not the experience of the whole United States. It's good people out here. And if you paint the paintbrush that none of them are good, then as soon as you go out on a date, you're going in with that assumption. That's if you think everybody's horrible, why are you even dating? Come on, man. Stop. So I ain't gonna go on that soapbox too long, because that's, you know, my chest getting a little warm. So I'm gonna do the last video since that one was kind of short. I don't even know what the last one is. Let me see. I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna get out of here.
Babe, what's wrong with you?
You know what? I'm sick of this. You're a bum. You don't satisfy my needs. And you're just plain old whack. I'm tired of this. And you know what? You better take all this in. Because I know one thing. You'll never find another chick like me.
Babe, what's wrong with you?
You know what? I'm sick of this. You're a bum. You don't satisfy my needs. And you're just plain old whack. I'm tired of this. And you know what? You better take all this in. Because I know one thing. You'll never find another chick like me.
So this one, let me read this one. Christina from Facebook says, "There's billions of people in the world, and you can't sit there and say nobody's good. That's what you're attracting is negative people." Exactly. That energy attracts the same energy. Damn it, people if y'all haven't figured this out yet, if you've had 5 boyfriends and they all the same type of dude, come on, you stop. You gotta take a step back and be like, wait, it can't be them if they're all the same. Anyway, so this video right here, it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's like you know what people do when they leave, and in this case, I don't know who, what he may have done or whatever, but she's saying you a bum, you ain't shit, I'm out of here, I'm leaving you, and he's just like, what, okay, and then this is the thing that people always say to try to get in your guts when you leave. You'll never find anyone better than me, right? Some of y'all on here probably said that. You'll never find someone better than me. And then they do. It can happen, right? You can't think that the things that you do for someone, that you're the only one on the planet that's capable of that. Like, we're humans. It's only but so many things we can do. I know some of y'all got some tricks or whatever, but you ain't the only one. So stop being so, there's a couple of things in this video, right? These things that we try to do, like, I know it's a comedy kind of clip or whatever, but if you really just kind of parse it and separate it a little bit, right? This is what a lot of times what you see women and men do, but it more so towards men, because men are the ones with these little fragile egos or whatever. Is you say things when you're going out the door to try to emasculate them and make them feel little. Your thing was small. You a bum. You can't take care of me. Blah, 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 right? All these things that make them feel real small, but you was there for 2 years. You was there for 2 years with a small thing and a broke dude, and he ain't shit. You stayed. So does that say more about him or more about you, right? If that's true, right? Because we know a lot of times it's BS. It's just something so that you can feel bad, like I'm feeling bad while I'm on my way out the door, right? And Erica says that's a classic line at the end of a relationship, right? And Christina says, yeah, you might be a good person, but don't mean you're matching what they want, and vice versa. Yeah. Christina says they loved them at one point, so shut up. Exactly. Yeah. Like all of these negative things that you said about how, because she didn't say you cheated on me. She didn't say, you disrespected me, you hit me, and all these other things. She just said you a bum and you broke and these kind of things. The only reason you would say that is if you wanted to make him feel like less of a man, right? And like I said, he might have done something. I don't know. I'm just talking about the words. And then that whole fatal thing at the end where it's like, you'll never find somebody like me, and you sticking your tongue out. And then he had something for her, right? Now, granted, the girl just magically appeared in the apartment or whatever, so that's a whole nother story, but I get the whole point of what it was. It's like, come on, like, we are capable of moving on. If we're in a toxic relationship and we get out of it, it's possible for us to find somebody that may even be better for us than you, right? The terms, someone is better for me. They may not be better than you for what you are, but they're better for me. That's the distinction, and that's what Christina was alluding to. Christina says you knew who he was when you was with him for years. You just tolerated it. Exactly. And here's another point I want to make as I close and wrap this up in a pretty bow. We look at like these relationships, and sometimes they could be toxic or whatever. And Erica says, when somebody says you'll never find someone like me, I say that's the idea, dummy. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. That whole point is I don't want someone like you. That's it. Like I didn't really think about it like that. So I thank you for that. But that's exactly what it is. Why would I want this toxic stuff like from a different person? That's the definition of being crazy and insane, is I keep wanting the same crap. Because I believe in this situation, they probably both was doing they both toxic to each other. And that's the thing. We very rarely look at ourselves as being a part of the issue. And your being part of the issue could simply mean you're accepting the bad treatment. You have to own that. Why do I continue to accept the bad treatment? We don't want to swallow that pill. We don't. But that's part of the solution. That's anything that's toxic to your life. Let it be drugs or anything else. You have to accept the fact that you have a problem first. You can say it's the drugs. You can say these bad people keep treating me bad. But you got to look and say, why? Why am I attracting this and why am I accepting it? So, yep, Christina says, learn to create healthy boundaries. Yo, let me tell you something. I'm a grown-ass man, right? Most of my life, I didn't even know what the hell boundaries were. Like, I'm out here just living life. And I know that's most of us do that, right? But it's dangerous when you don't have them. Male and female. It's dangerous as hell. And that's why that's like one of the things that I'm championing now. Like, you gotta have some damn boundaries. I don't care what your gender is. If you really want something meaningful, you want to be in a relationship, you want to maybe get married one day, because I know that the marriage thing, everybody, I don't want that. But if you want any kind of long-term relationship, you got to be able to know what you will and won't accept. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I was being a Billy, Christina. I know. I have that stain on my record, but I think even though I had those Billy years, if I didn't have the Billy years and I did not, here's the thing. Being Billy is horrible, but being a Billy who has not redeemed himself is even worse, right? On the other side of redemption, on the other side of realizing that that's what it was, I would never be able to coach you guys. I would never be able to kind of share these things because I wouldn't even know what it felt like to even be in that space, right? I would not be able to tell women the motivations of some of these things that guys do if I didn't do it myself, right? It sucks. But it wouldn't be a testimony if I didn't have a story, right? So that's why I always tell people when I'm talking in these forums, I use my life, even though I don't have any true regrets. I use my life as a cautionary tale. Like, if you moving left and I'm like, whoa, hold on, move a little bit this way because I don't want you to go. I've been there before. That's why these dudes that's these relationship coaches and they like 21 and 22. I'm like, what do you? There's something to be said about being on this earth a certain amount of years. It ain't but so much time you had to figure things out. Christina says, you're a prime example of a man who can evolve for bad qualities and negative impacts on other women you cause. Yeah, I am. While I was going through that stuff, though, didn't really give a damn. But here's the part that sucks. I know I'm telling y'all a lot. To be Billy and be an empath at the same time, it was hard. Because even though I knew I hurt some folks, I had to feel that too. That's why it's easy for me to connect with men and women, because I know even though I wasn't the woman being hurt, I felt it. And I had to go home and eat that feeling and go out and do it another day because the other ego side of me wanted to be full again. Imagine that. So, I be telling y'all a lot, don't I? Because I want you to be able to see in yourself. That's why I pick certain guests to come on the show. And me and Christina gonna link up. I'm gonna come on her platform. I'm gonna have her on the show. I want y'all to see real people, man. I want y'all to hear these real stories so you can identify with them so that you can move in a direction that's healthier for you. Christina says you overcame that BS. So men who say they can't stop cheating or whatever are you're right. You're right. It's a decision that you have to make. And when you see people who can't stop, some of them are just perpetual, like that's who they are, whatever. But most of them, it's some trauma behind all of that makes them have to keep needing to feed off of that dopamine high. Erica says, being an empath was difficult for me to use people. That guilt was overwhelming. Yeah, you know what, Erica? My need to feel something after I experienced this horrific pain after 3 failed relationships that I got cheated on and I was just in a broken place. My need to feel the redemption from that was higher than me feeling guilt from the hurt that I put out there, if that makes sense. I knew I was doing it, but I needed to overcome that trauma more than I needed to feel guilty about what I was doing. Would I have been able to clearly speak about this like 2-3 years ago? Probably not. But I pay attention to my movements and my action, and I know exactly where it comes from. Karma is a bitch, and people act like it isn't real. Yeah, I've gotten my karma back many times over. It's probably not even finished. And when I talk about this whole Billy and Susie thing, the karma that comes from that, you never, and I repeat, never get away from it. And people be like, oh, I'm happily, married now, and no. It does. Your kids, a family member, something might happen. It somehow, some way, and you remember that, y'all guys know that movie called Final Destination? No matter what they did, it kept coming for them. It happens. It happens. And we have to be conscious of that. That's another reason why I do what I do, because I know, I know what it feels like. That's why a lot of my shows, I talk about peeling back the layer. Like even Tuesday when I had the lady that does the Chandria Brownlow, I had her on the show. She's a filmmaker. She has a movie. And the way that I like to do anything that I do, because I'm an empath, I just don't want the surface. I want to know how it feels. Because if you share how it feels, then somebody who's had that same feeling can connect. And once you can connect and you know it's not just you, then you might see the light that wants you to move in a direction to heal more. So like when I did the interview, I told her at the beginning, I was like, you have 2 of your actors from the movie on. I don't just want them to be on the side. So I had a whole screen where they were, and I was like, so how did it feel when you came on the set and you was working for your aunt? And how did it feel when you had to connect with somebody you never met before? And then I went to the guy and I was like, I want to know how you felt underneath just being an actor. How did you get here? How did it feel? Because if we don't know that, we don't connect with people, right? Because if they wanted to, they could just wear the actor t-shirt and say, yeah, I'm in this movie. And I was like, no. I want to know who you are. And when I do this coaching work and when I come on here and I do these shows and I do these little funny videos, I'm like, wait, I wonder how she was feeling. Because most of us have a story. A lot of our stories don't have positive endings in them as we go through these relationships. But if we never tackle how we felt and how we came out of it before we move to the next thing, then we're destined to repeat history. And Erica is a prime example of that. Erica, she talks about it all the time. She had some tumultuous things go on in her life. And now the way she moves is way more informed. The boundaries are in place and she knows how to detach. And what I always try to tell you guys is if you build that ability to be able to kind of parse people out and block them and do all these things to protect your peace, then you won't be afraid to go out on dates. Because you're not emotionally invested in something because you automatically you felt it coming. Because you know what it feels like not to feel good. You felt the pain before. That's why it's important to recognize that you have these triggers and these things that hurt you so that you can address them so that you can be out here and be able to kind of move in that way. Because I know you want to go out and meet people. So when I hear people say, I'm never going out there again, I'm like, is that a them problem or a you problem? Because these people going to be people. It's going to be some good ones and some bad ones. Same thing I tell my 11-year-old daughter. It's going to be some good friends and some bad. Some people might want to be your friend. But you have to have the discernment that if they show you who they are, that you gotta push them to the side. It's a life lesson that we tell our kids. We know it throughout our whole lives. But as soon as that thing right here, the heart gets in, you be like, wait, boundaries? What's those? Christina says karma gonna sneak up on that ass. Yep, that movie. Love that movie. Yeah, Final Destination. Christina said yes, exactly. Feelings people never want to speak on it. Yeah. And they might see this, but they were surprised at the questions, because not only did I ask them the questions, I went on everybody's social media and I went through that whole, like, I do my research. So I was like, okay, I know you just graduated from college, so let's talk about that. I know you did that. And they was like, and I was like, how did it feel just coming out of college? And like, what was the emotion? And they're like, because anybody who's been on my show, I don't give you a list of questions that I'm going to, I don't do that. Because I want the real organic you. So Christina says, okay, go be a cat lady then, bitch. Yeah. Hey, if you want to be a cat lady, nobody's hating on that. But you would be a liar if you were sitting at home pining over wanting to be in a relationship, but you kept yourself from getting that because you didn't trust yourself. That's I always tell you, you don't trust yourself to keep your own boundaries. That's why you're scared. You think somebody's going to run through your non-boundaries. No. If you say I'm not going to have sex, guess who controls that? You. If you say I'm not going to let you talk to me any kind of way, guess what? You control that. I'm not going to let you just treat me like you think I'm your girlfriend, but you're not going to call me one. Who controls that? He not spending no money on me. Maybe he's a broke dude and I don't need a broke dude. Guess what? He lied to me about living with his mama. If that's one of your things, go ahead. You can do that. You have the right to do that. So please hear what I'm saying. And I'm not saying you're going to see it all coming early. But when you do, you got the right to do it. You got to love you. It is not the easiest thing, but what's the alternative is to be hurt all over again? What's more important? Your sanity or the pain that you're going to feel when you devastated and you're crying in the back of the car or the closet or whatever? It's not funny. And protecting yourself doesn't mean isolate yourself from the world either. You may need those moments, but we're supposed to be able to kind of like be around people, and that's what we're here for, to meet people and to help each other and all that stuff. I know it sounds like real kumbaya, but it's true. That's why if you go to jail, the worst punishment they could give you is putting you by yourself. Think about that. Why is that a punishment? And why would you inflict that punishment on yourself? I'm going to close with that. I'm definitely closing with that. Anybody who wants to come to the group coaching session, you get a free 7-day trial anyway. Come in, check it out, see how we rock. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Go to relationshipgumbo.info and go down to the section where it says the group coaching and click on the thing and sign up, and we're going to get it in. And any questions that you have about anything relationship or dating based, guess what? You get access to the supercomputer. You get to ask whatever you want. Now, if it's too deep and you talking about a bunch of stuff, we're going to have to move you over to the one-on-one session, hourly session. But most of those questions, we can talk about some things. And what the beautiful thing, and Christina can attest to it, you're in the room with some folks, with a few people, and you can identify with each other. And then what ends up happening is the people that's in the group start talking amongst each other, and we all just kind of getting it out. That's the purpose. So if you need that energy, we got it for you. And yeah. So that's all I got for you guys. Y'all know I ran way longer than I was supposed to, but I love y'all and I love the engagement. I live for it. And like I said, Christina says, yeah, it's fun in there. So hopefully you got, I know you're a busy lady, Christina. Hopefully you can come back this evening, at least for a little bit. And we got to talk about me coming on your platform too. That could probably happen sometime next week, because I know you always go live. So we she said it's like a safe place, and it is a safe place. So if you guys want to come check that out, we're doing that every Thursday at 7 p.m. And just to recap what I said at the beginning of the show, Facebook, we messing with my numbers on my lives, and I can't have that. So over the next month, maybe by March, I'm going to start pushing people to YouTube so I can kind of have more control over what's happening, because Facebook be on some stuff I don't know, and maybe they listening to me now, but I cannot. I can't keep going and doing this. So I'm always on the search for putting myself in a better situation, so more people can see me and engage and all this stuff. And I'm probably going to be, see, Christina, I'm mad as hell about them numbers, man. I'm mad as hell about them numbers. It looks like, is it Dania Carrillo? Welcome. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the party. But yeah, those numbers, man. My numbers been, my numbers been consistent as hell for like a year, and now all of a sudden, I'm not buying it. Those algorithms, man. I know you can't get away from them, but I can put myself in a better space. So I'm gonna start moving all my stuff to YouTube. Yeah, make sure you follow me. I got some good stuff. I'm coming on Christina's live hopefully next week, if she can find some space in her calendar for me. Come on there. I'm not coming on the cooking show part though. I'm coming on the other one. No, I'm joking. I'll come on any one that you want. I just want to engage with your family over there too, and vice versa. And Christina's gonna come on the show one day. We just got to coordinate because we on different coasts, but she's definitely in the queue. So yeah. I'm gonna start. So if y'all go to my website, relationshipgumbo.info, there's a section that has like for the podcast, and it'll say like Facebook. It'll have a button for Facebook, YouTube. Push YouTube and subscribe and click that bell, because I'm about to start shifting things over that way. So yeah, because I want the whole purpose of this is to reach as many people as possible. How dare you, Facebook? Like you do these things, and I've had like viewers, like thousands of viewers at one point, but I've been steady in 3-digit numbers. How the hell am I doing 2 digits over the past few weeks? There's no way. My platform is way bigger than it was a year and change ago, so they need to stop it with that. So I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that I can reach as many of you guys as possible, and make sure you kind of share this on your feeds and all of that stuff, and we just gonna have fun. Like all the stuff we did today with these videos is fun. We have fun here, but we learn and we move in a healing direction. And even if it's not for you, you can share it with somebody you love so that they can start healing. I don't have all the answers, but I know a little something. And I'm good at putting puzzles together. That's what I do. So I will ask you guys to have a fantastic day. I want you guys to stay safe and stop being all up in everybody's face. I keep saying that, and people don't like when I say it, but I care that much. Like, y'all need to stop being all up in everybody, all out in the streets and everybody's face thinking it's cute. It's still COVID out here. It's still people going in the hospital every day and dying and all that. Come on, man. Care enough about yourself and your family. A little bit. Cause wow, like I keep seeing these pictures. So anyway, I want y'all to have a good day, and I may do another pop-up if I got some time tomorrow, Saturday. So just make sure you stay connected, stay following, and these live from the inbox, it's not a scheduled show, so it may pop up. And if you want to do the group coaching, go to the group coaching section on my page, come in, sign up, 7-day free trial. If you like it, cool. If it's not for you, that's also cool. I just want you to be happy. That's the goal here. So until then, I will see you guys, talk to you guys later, hear you guys later. I'm about to go over to Clubhouse and get it in over there, because that's like my little place where I can kind of speak and just do what I need to do. So if you on Clubhouse, I believe my name on there is Coach_Derek. So go over there, follow me there, and I'll follow you back, and let's get into some of these conversations. All the relationship based rooms in there, I'm in all of them. So you'll find me around there almost literally like every day or every other day. I'll be in there at least. If I'm not listening, I'm on the stage talking. So I'm everywhere, guys. So just make sure you follow me. So on that note, I want you guys to have a great day.